This is what we've been waiting for.
They grew up an ocean apart.
You need to kill Juan Manuel Marquez in order to defeat him.
Manny Pacquiao stands tall. He is one of the all-time greats.
They knew it on sight.
These two guys are made for each other.
Every time they met was magic. Their getting to know you process took place at breakneck speed, with life-altering consequences. It started with an explosion.
Boy, his nose is all busted up.
Yes, man. Pacquiao!
And ended with a bang. By then, it was clear Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez were made for each other. Their four-fight series will go down in history as one of the great stylistic matchups in modern boxing. Some things in this world can say a whole lot more than words, like a series of punches. In a sport where body language is everything, Juan and Manny immediately hit it off. Manny Pacquiao left home after his father killed, cooked, and ate his dog. While not so lucky in the parenting department, Manny caught some genetic gifts that helped make him great. He had freaky speed of hand and foot, vicious power in his left hand. He genuinely didn't seem to mind getting punched in the mouth. Thanks to a constantly evolving technical game, he kept on putting on weight, and as he moved through the divisions, he kept on racking up titles. Juan Manuel Marquez came from a fighting family. Juan and his brother, Rafael, sharpened each other's skills in sparring. The brothers Marquez both clawed their way to the top of Mexico City's thriving boxing scene. Juan's style was as orthodox as a yarmulke and prayer shawl. He fought out of a classic upright high guard, always on balance and prepared to counter in combination. He was a brutal body puncher to boot. The two met for the first time in a unification bout for the featherweight title.
Beat
Good combination.
And here is how you know Manny is off the charts fast.
Pacquiao!
There's that left hand.
Comes in with a left hand.
Juan had seen over 100 fighters across the ring from him.
Now he's confident he's got to be shot.
Yeah, he's got to be a...
But he was completely unprepared for the shock and awe of the Philippine Demon.
Marquez can hurt you too. I don't know if the referee let it go if he gets knocked down for a fourth time.
15 seconds.
By the time Marquez sat for the second round, it would be the fourth time off his feet in the fight. Marquez already in a deep hole on the scorecards. His nose was already broken.
He's got a broken nose, I believe.
But he doesn't have a broken will yet.
No.
But his self-belief was far stronger than something so flimsy as facial bones. Juan adjusted to the blazing speed of one of boxing's legendary creatures. Juan flipped through the textbook and came up with answers, timing the straight left, using head movement to get off the line, and countering to the body to make Manny think twice.
3 times in the first round, he's still with us.
Right here too. This is a very...
Oh, good right hand from Marquez. Good right hand from Marquez.
Marquez made his stand, and it was a brand new fight. Down the stretch, it became a majestic war of attrition. Manuel mounted a gritty comeback.
Oh, got him again. Pacquiao keeps rubbing at his eye. Something's bothering him. He got backed up to the ropes. Then he fights out.
Get in there, land that big punch, and get out.
I think it was a big round for the champion. Big round.
And fought his heart out to climb out of the hole Manny left him in the first round.
Marquez does not seem frustrated by Pacquiao when Marquez counters it. This
Combination back to Pacquiao up.
the best in the world. You have to double up on the jab and throw that left.
He hasn't thrown anything.
The fight was virtually impossible to score.
Champion is unbeaten in his last 13 fights.
With every round after the first up for argument.
Good uppercut.
He's got his number now. And ever since the second round started,
The judges couldn't be more torn on their decision.
He's backing him up.
Pacquiao's corner does not want him to be.
One had Manny dominating.
He's got a long ways to go in this fight.
One had Marquez dominating.
Good right hand, excuse me. Marquez now fights.
Very tough to get beat.
Oh man, right in backs you up. Combination.
Marquez wins. Maybe he's the guy to fight Morales, but right now,
They scored that first round with 3 knockdowns, and that's it. Both fighters, hands in the air.
Pacquiao.
The third posted the card that made it a draw. The only thing the boxing world was unanimous on was that it needed to happen again.
113, a three-way split. The bout is a draw.
They took the long way around to meet again. Manny Pacquiao got sidetracked with another Mexican legend in Eric Morales at 130 pounds.
Yeah, he's fighting, but his legs are so weak. Anytime he can there he goes. Good call, Manny. That's the first real knockdown of Eric Morales' career.
Unbelievable.
Morales, a true gladiator.
15 seconds. Down goes Morales again. Again, he's down.
And the look on Eric Morales' face.
While Marquez cleaned out 126.
There's only one Mexican fighter left, and now Marquez is the one who he has to take. If he wants to be called the world champion at 130 pounds, you have to go through Marquez.
And right now it's going to be a much better fight for him. In fact, this is one of his best rounds.
Marquez.
Their highly anticipated second meeting broke the pay-per-view record for most buys for a fight under the welterweight limit.
He's fought enough of them, and man, as we all know before, so let's see. Oh, countered yet.
With Manny and Marquez in the ring, every penny spent got repaid in blood.
But Marquez is leaving himself straight in, then try and run Pacquiao into them. Oh,
got him right on the bell.
His jab, there's that right hand through the middle.
Pull him to one side. This carries on much longer.
Yeah.
Just like the first, the fight straddled a thin line between entertainment and war.
Pacquiao in trouble, or Marquez in trouble as Pacquiao goes.
It was years later and a weight class heavier, but it was another classic all the same.
That 1-2 certainly did. Good cross there from Pacquiao. Needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Feinting and looking for an opportunity. Bangs his gloves together. Good combination counters there. But Pacquiao comes back.
Well, he's looking to counter again here as Pacquiao tries to go to work, and it's really exploding.
By the end of round 7, both men come back to the corner bleeding. Juan got the worst of the cuts and would be checked by the doctor.
Sharp start here from Marquez. 8th round, very sharp. Nice left hook to the body as well. Good stuff again from Marquez. Now Pacquiao decides to try and Marquez intelligently continues to go after that damaged eye. Went for the...
Oh, lovely one. Oh, good left hook from Marquez there.
Yeah, that was nice.
Round the side of Manny Pacquiao's left hand.
Yeah, they're going to have to look at this damage again.
It was poorly placed above the eye, where blood would drip down and obscure his vision. Juan walked onto a straight left to start the 10th.
Marquez, but he's been using it less than what it was in the early part of the fight.
That left hook.
Well, that'll worsen that.
He hung in there, but with his eye looking like a rare sirloin, a doctor's stoppage was becoming a big concern.
Shot again.
Set him up with the left hand.
Oh, that's good work from Marquez.
Really
there.
good. Really, you said that a couple of rounds ago.
Yeah.
Bringing the right hand in with it.
Oh, good combo. Comes back well there, Pacquiao.
You said that a couple of rounds ago.
Yeah.
Bringing the right.
But the Mexican warrior had the craft and the heart to make the final bell with a Filipino phenom.
Well, if there's two guys deserve a standing ovation, it's these two. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful fight.
This night, Manny proved the better man, winning a tight split decision. The two went their separate ways once more. After the second Marquez fight, Manny goes on a legendary tear through a series of much larger men. His knockout over Ricky Hatton might be the meanest left he ever threw. He hit giant Antonio Margarito 475 times.
His reach at this point, it's
and broke his eye socket. He turned the golden boy from boxer to businessman. Manny had never looked meaner. Marquez was on a similar tear.
I think that's a good fight. And he drops him with a big right.
But I don't think that's what he's going to do. And look at Marquez go to the body. Look at him go to the body to try to set up the finish and what a right hand. And that will be that.
With his only loss coming from a man named Floyd Mayweather. Between the second and third fight, Manny and Juan went a combined 13-1. When they clashed for the third time in 2011, it drew 40 million viewers from Mexico alone. By this time, Manny was literally the most popular Filipino citizen in the world. Even criminals took the night off in Manila when Manny Pacquiao fought. As they met for the 25th round in the ring, the eyes of the world were on them.
You gotta land some right hands, though.
He's getting minimum $22 million tonight.
The pair picked right up where they left off.
Well, as a heavy at 38-year-old,
that's also been a hallmark of the late, usually looking for the right lead.
Manny getting a lot of success now, being a lot more accurate with that left. Big looping punch, actually blocked Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao.
By the middle rounds, it looked as technical and hotly contested as their first two fights. Manny at work with his constant pressure and southpaw speed, while Juan counters in combination with stoic ferocity.
And that's what you were asking for, Rich.
It's the round what Freddie Rhodes predicted. Another big
midway through the second round.
Another solid round and a solid combination.
Manny's got to be frustrated now.
From a $100 million fight against Floyd Mayweather.
Now he's a sensation.
Beautiful uppercut.
You know, people go crazy because Marquez has been definitive in the head. He didn't mean it, but that's where he hit him. And Manny.
Their chemistry proved impeccable again.
But who's going to begin the show? And the tough fights, but no. Uppercut by Manny Pacquiao. And look at this guy. This counterpunching is sensational.
After another tight technical war,
Listen to the crowd, folks. This is the way it's been throughout. That's it.
Manny Pacquiao was awarded a majority decision on the slimmest of margins.
Manny Pacquiao.
That's got to be crushing for...
The final chapter of Marquez versus Pacquiao saga was booked for December 8th, 2012.
Remember, Pacquiao's knocked him down 3 times in the first fight.
From the opening bell, it was more intense than any of the other meetings.
So far, Marquez is missing more than 8 shots. Southpaw fighter.
Like Frazier and Ali in their final chapter, each man has slowed a fraction of a second. The punches that missed by millimeters in the previous meetings were landing full force now. They traded knockdowns, one with a wide overhand.
Oh, he had everything because if he drops Pacquiao.
Manny came back.
Got him off balance. Even though it was straight up. Here's Pacquiao trying to drop him again.
He slips a jab and drops him on the straight left.
Which is very dangerous to get hit in the jaw of the 5th round.
It was with 1 second left in the 6th round that Juan hit his buzzer beater.
Manny coming in and he walks right into it.
Manny didn't move from that spot for 2 minutes and 22 seconds. When Manny finally returned from his out-of-body experience, all the world exhaled a sigh of relief. It was an emphatic end to one of the greatest series of fights in the modern day. They may have grown up a global part, but Juan and Manny were 2 sides of the same coin. When fate had finally come to work itself out, the coin landed. It was with Manny face down. All good things must come to an end.